What's good, cryptocurrency fans out there? Welcome back to the Everything Altcoin channel. Today we're going to be talking about Kaspa versus Celestia. Now, this video is supposed to spark some conversation, nothing too crazy. Of course, this video may get hated on or may get liked. We'll have to see in the comment section down below, because I already know this is going to be interesting. Now, this is an interesting topic as both of these altcoins are actually solving the blockchain trilemma. This is the huge selling point for especially Kaspa. So for those that don't know, the blockchain trilemma basically refers to the trade-off between three aspects of the blockchain technology, which is basically security, scalability, decentralization. Now, Kaspa does this in one way and Celestia does this in another way. But before we get into talking about all of that, I would like to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. We on the road to 20K subscribers, so if you guys want to help out with that, hit that red subscribe button. Don't forget to like the video, comment what you think down below. This should be hot down below. And while you guys are down there, hit that link to join the Discord to continue the crypto conversation we're having daily. And you guys can ask your questions on how the Patreon works. As you guys know, we've been getting into a lot of bangers within the private sale community, and I left a how-to guide for private sale investing, the pros and cons, in the cards up top and in the comment section down below for you guys to understand how private sales work. So let's get right into the video, guys. So the reason I chose this topic is because both Celestia and Kaspa are addressing the blockchain trilemma in two different ways. Kaspa is doing this with their proof of work consensus mechanism and their sophisticated block DAG design, which we're going to break down as well in this video. Right now, Kaspa is sitting at 13 cents at a $3 billion market cap. Huge evaluation as well, right? And its all-time high was 3 months ago where it hit 15 cents. Now, Kaspa from its lows has made a lot of people a lot of money. Congratulations to those who have gotten in that low. And I'm sure Kaspa made some millionaires off of that move. This has been this cycle's biggest move so far. Now, both of these altcoins are around their all-time high. Actually, Kaspa has came down a little bit from his all-time high, while Celestia is continuously breaking its all-time high. And there's a specific reason for that as well. So as I said, Kaspa is addressing the blockchain trilemma through their implementation of proof of work and block DAG structure. And for those that don't know, the trilemma essentially is this whole diagram that you guys are going to be seeing a lot, which is the scalability, security, and decentralization, right? So for decentralization, the proof of work that Kaspa uses ensures decentralization by relying on miners distributed across the network to validate transactions, while the proof of work mechanism also solves the security issue, which is proven by the success of Bitcoin. Then you have the block DAG structure, which enhances scalability by allowing multiple chains to process transactions in parallel. So this is also being tackled by SEI, which is the first parallelized EVM. But with Kaspa, you have reduced latency, flexibility, resilience, and eco-friendly, right? So that is some highlights for Kaspa of now. Now, Kaspa is also working on smart contract. It seems to not be their main focus. As for the current status, there's a definitive consensus that there's no active deployment of smart contract that will be underway at this juncture. Now, they're focused on different things from like node rewrite into the Rust programming language, and they also put out their roadmap, a little bit of their roadmap, well, essentially what they were talking about for the future of Kaspa. So they recently put this out back in January 2020, talking about the past, present, and future. And I just want to highlight the future. So as for the future, they are actually eagerly waiting for the launch of the Rusty Kaspa public testnet, and they're looking to achieve the status of an everyday currency. Swift and efficient transaction processing is increasingly sought after. Then the highly anticipated DAG-Knight protocol remains the summit objective and significant future of Kaspa. This protocol is expected to introduce a novel layer of innovation to the network, further reinforcing Kaspa's goal of 100 BPS and the first perimeterless network. So you have a lot of people predicting of what Kaspa can actually achieve by the time, Bitcoin at least hits $150,000, if it hits $150,000 during this cycle here. So if Kaspa continues on this trajectory here, this AI predicts that it could be trading around 50 cents to $1 for Kaspa. We'll break this down, as I actually see this as a decent price prediction for Kaspa, nothing too bullish, nothing too, you know, overly dramatic in terms of the price prediction or underly dramatic for the price prediction. Now, one thing that a lot of people say for Kaspa is that essentially it's not on the tier 1 exchanges, and that's when it's going to start to pump. Now, I believe that once it gets to the tier 1 exchange, it's going to pump and then it's going to come right back down. It's going to stay steady for a long time. The main selling point for Kaspa was that proof of work narrative, for me, in my opinion, right, was that proof of work narrative. And I don't see nothing else bringing it up until they start to develop the smart contracts on there. And as you already starting to see, you got perpetual launch for Kaspa on Binance. This is something that a lot of people are already targeting. So once Binance lists Kaspa, what else is there for Kaspa? Essentially, it has reached the pinnacle, right, on smart contracts. Now, I jokingly said that Kaspa reminds me of the early days of Cardano, as Cardano was seen as a ghost chain as well, but it still did fairly well in the bull market. And I can see Kaspa doing fairly well in this bull market, but I don't know how high it can go. But we're going to give you guys some price targets, as there's a potential that Kaspa is definitely going to go higher. It's community driven, right? But how high will the community drive this, especially with all the new narratives that are coming out from real world assets being a huge thing, DeepIn being other projects like Celestia that is solving that trilemma as well. How long will the narrative for Kaspa continue, or the retail interest, as Kaspa's main driving point has been the retail interest, especially due from the influencers, the YouTube content creators around it that are selling high price predictions for Kaspa. So before we get to the price predictions, right, Kaspa does have an emission schedule. As you guys know, it's a proof of work. So there's going to be some mining of the tokens. So by April 7th of 2025, they're set to be over 25.7 billion tokens in circulating supply. So I went over to the coin perspective and of course plugged that circulating supply in of 25.8 billion supply. And the easiest goal for Kaspa for me, the easiest price prediction, is that it hits $1. This is safe. This is nothing too crazy. It could hit a $25.8 billion market cap, right? Now, when you get into higher price predictions for Kaspa, this is when you have to start to ask yourself what else is going to drive Kaspa's price movement. Because for it to now get to $2, it basically puts it around a $50 billion market cap. Now, what is going to drive that speculation that high? Is retail really going to stay with Kaspa this long till they get to this price target, right? Especially after that Binance listing, the Coinbase listing that people are predicting that it has. How much farther will Kaspa go, right? And if it does get this high, I actually do think that this could possibly be the highest it may go this cycle. Now, the next cycle, of course, things could change because of now they're probably going to have their smart contracts ready by then. I did see some people, you know, basically comparing it as well to how Cardano hit about a $90 billion market cap with no smart contracts. But in my opinion, Kaspa won't do that type of run. It actually faces a lot of competition, especially when it comes down to solving the whole blockchain trilemma. Which leads me to Celestia, right? Now, Celestia is also tackling the blockchain trilemma by introducing the modular approach to blockchain architecture. As Celestia does this by segregating the blockchain network, which adjusts the architecture of the blockchain to solve the blockchain trilemma with their modular approach. Now, we're going to break down this actual modular approach in just a second here, but Celestia is at $20, sitting at a $3.2 billion market cap. They're roughly around the same market cap as of right now, but Celestia has a higher fully diluted evaluation of $20 billion, while Kaspa has 3 as of right now. Now, since TIA has came out, essentially this has been on a crazy uptrend, just like Kaspa. It went from $2 to $20 as of right now. Now, I do also want to preface this by saying that I am in the private sale of Celestia, so I got in around $2 as well. Now, like I said, Celestia is also tackling that blockchain scalability issue with the modular approach. They're the first modular blockchain, and they actually have now fathered a lot of different altcoins that are actually using this modular approach. New altcoins that you're seeing coming into the space are using Celestia for their modular approach. It's data availability layer. Now, this is where you got to talk about it, right? Because the monolithic debate is essentially everything happens on one layer. That's the execution, the settlement, and the consensus layer, and the data availability layer all happening on one layer. While with Celestia and their modular approach, they break it down into 3 separate layers. Like I said, the segregated layers, the execution layer, the settlement layer, the consensus, and data availability layer. These 3 all serve different purposes, as this consensus layer established the sets of guidelines to be observed through the nodes for verifying and validating. The data availability layer manages the on-chain and stale chain blockchain records, making sure that the records are available and public for everyone to look at. Then you have the execution layer, which functions to process transactions. And lastly, you have the settlement layer, where the transactions are executed and verified and finished. So this is all that makes Celestia very unique in this space, as it's tackling the scalability issue as well. But not only that, Celestia right now is actually getting adopted way more than a lot of different chains, because new chains that are coming out are deciding to use Celestia for their data availability layer. This is the bottom layer right now, so a lot of things come through Celestia. You'll be seeing a lot of new projects from Dimension, Manta, Alt, and future new projects actually using Celestia, which we're going to break down right now. So once you go onto the Celestia website, you can actually see that you guys can build on top of any frameworks you guys want, right? That could be from the Arbitrum Orbit. You can also build on Dimension, OP Stack, Sovereign SDK, the Rollup Kit, the Polygon CDK. But the most impressive part for Celestia is its ecosystem, which is growing at a rate, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be stopped. The conversation behind Celestia and what they're building is at an all-time high, due to the fact that even Vitalik even chimed in. Vitalik says L2s using Celestia are validiums, not genuine rollups, right? So this sparks a lot of conversation for what Celestia have created. So L2 equal rollup according to Ethereum's def, and if one uses other chains like Celestia, for example, for data availability, it becomes a Celestia L2. So there's a huge conversation going on right now, right? Because some of these EVM chains that are coming out are choosing to use Celestia for their data availability. So meaning Celestia could actually end up competing with Ethereum, just because what Vitalik is saying, as these EVMs that are using Celestia for data availability aren't really considered EVM, as they're not using Ethereum for their data availability. But that becomes a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Right now, 50% of Celestia is staked, and this is because of the fact that people are getting airdrops for new altcoins that are coming into this, like Dimension, like Manta, like Alt Layer, right? And there's a few more that is supposed to come out. If you stake your TIA, you get access to these altcoins, right? So this is huge for Celestia. Now, unlike Kaspa, Kaspa has an emission schedule for their token. Celestia actually has a vesting schedule for the token, as a lot of people have gotten into the private sale, right? And like I said, I did get into the private sale of Celestia, and the first unlock is not happening till October 2024. So there actually hasn't been any tokens on the circulating market, right? Which has helped out Celestia's price appreciation. Now for Celestia, I went over to CryptoRank here, and we're going to go look at the vesting schedule, because the vesting schedule is very important. As you guys can see, the first unlocks do not happen until October of this year. But I went all the way down to see where Celestia will be by April 30th of 2025, which is roughly around the same time we chose for Kaspa, right? So TIA would be 623 million in circulating supply, right? So there's going to be a decent unlock by then, right? I plugged this into coin perspective as of right now, right? So if Celestia actually reached $100, that'll just be around a 475% gain, putting it at a $62.1 billion market cap. Now, I honestly believe Celestia has a lot more room to grow, as it actually rivals Ethereum. And as you guys can see from the tweet that we had shown in the last article that has Vitalik talking about new L2s using Celestia is more seen as a Celestia L2. And I didn't think before there was much that we can see that can actually compete with Ethereum, but I believe that Celestia with the modular approach can actually compete with Ethereum. I'm not saying it can take over Ethereum or anything, but we can see it high up there in the market cap in terms of where it can be in the future. Now, if it hit $100 billion with that same circulating supply, it'll be roughly 780%, right? So Kaspa does have some better price appreciation, multiple X's that it could potentially give you. But the thing is, how long will retail stay with Kaspa for it to get its actual price appreciation, the targets that we gave it? What will happen for Kaspa after that Binance listing, right? Especially if there's no smart contracts being built on Kaspa for a while. What is actually going to drive that price appreciation? While with Celestia, we're already seeing Celestia being adopted at a high rate, already competing with Ethereum, and there's more to come for Celestia in my opinion. And looking at the historic snapshot as of right now, the top 10 outside of Dogecoin actually entailed with layer 1 all infrastructures, right? BNB with their Binance Smart Chain, Solana, Cardano, and Polkadot, and of course XRP is up here as well, right? So that is your top 10 right now. Now I do believe that we're going to go a lot higher than where we see all of these prices right now, especially if Bitcoin at least reaches $100,000. We may see a few altcoins that hit 100 billion in market cap, and one altcoin, there will be probably one or two altcoins that may hit close to $200 billion, right? But I want to know what you guys think though. Where would you guys see the future of Kaspa or Celestia in the comment section down below? Leave your thoughts down there, and I'll check you guys later. Peace, YouTube.